Good afternoon and welcome. It's time for a camp. This will be the first one in about 6 weeks for me. What with illness, bad weather, holidays and just everything getting in the way, so I'm really looking forward to this. And I thought it'd be time to go back to basics. No tent, no hammock, not today. Well, I just had to walk under that. The old yew tree. He's shed one of his big branches. Mind you, it's not like he hasn't got plenty more. But no, that was a surprise. Well, I've just stuck up a quick Adirondack style shelter because I suppose you can hear it, the rain started. I'm not sure whether this will be what I'm sleeping in at the moment, but it was just a case of let's get the gear dry first. That's the most important thing. Well, we've not been here for a few weeks, and in that time it's gone from bare ground to all the bluebells have started to spring up, so they're going to look nice in a few weeks' time. Every time I go to get out from under the tarp, rain starts again. I think I'm just going to stay here for the time being, finish my brew. I've just checked the weather, and from about sort of 4ish onwards, it's meant to be okay. It's about 2:30 now, so hour or so I might be able to actually get out of the shelter and do something. Oh. Oh. Well, that's all set up and just in time. As you can probably hear, the rain started again. I've got the cheap cot bed, got the zigzag sort of foam mat underneath for a little bit of insulation, but I'm not going to need much because I'm off the floor. Makes a big difference. Got the medium weight army bag. I know that's going to keep me warm. That's tried and tested. A little flex tail pillow and my hat for at night, just to keep me the old noggin warm, especially now I've had a haircut. I've lost some of the insulation. This rain is meant to disappear around when it gets dark, and then it's going to be dry and clear overnight and quite low temperatures, but I should be okay. Shouldn't be a problem. I'm certainly, you know, I've got faith in my sleep system. The shelter will be okay as long as the wind doesn't change direction and it starts blowing in the front. We'll see what happens. As you can see, Mark is with me, and I think he's had a bit of a mad moment. We were discussing this at work the other day, and he's actually making a hammock and tarp out of a lavoo. The hammock bit works, that's been road tested. The tarp's proving a bit tricky to get enough coverage.
I don't think I'd recommend the tarp in rain.
No, it's not really quite big enough, is it? But I mean, in the summer it'll keep the sun off you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what he's up to. Silly boy. I've just put the kettle on underneath the tarp, and looks like Mark is doing the same over there with his twig stove. Not much else you can do when it's wet. Right, let's have a quick look at this lavoo setup. What he's done is he's put something in there, a lump of wood or something, and a carabiner around it to hold it quite firm. I mean, lavoos, they're canvas, they're quite strong. He's laid in there and road tested it, and it's all worked. He did the other half as a light shelter, but we had so much bloody rain. He's thrown the DD 3x3 over the top, because you know what canvas like when it gets wet. It's just a pain in the ass to dry, especially this time of year. So I think that was a wise call. Plus it gave him space to sit under and make a brew and that while it was raining. But no, interesting concept. Has anyone else ever used a piece of lavoo, which is basically a poncho, isn't it, as a hammock? You know, we were talking about it at work the other day. For those of you who don't know, Mark works with me now. And he'd come up with this idea, and I thought, well, I don't know if that's going to work. But it seems to have worked. Of course, acid test to be after he spent the night in it. But I really hope it works out for him, because I think it's a great idea, and I've never seen it done before. It's yeah, good fun. Like it. It's always nice to try out new stuff, isn't it? Now that rain's gone, the woodland's looking nice and bright. It's nice and green. Well, most of it's green anyway. It's sunlight coming through everywhere, which is lovely. I'm across the opposite side of the campsite. I'm over there with my strange sort of setup with the old camp bed. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having a night out. It's been too long. Well, I'm fed up with dodging in and out with the showers. Each time we try and go and do something, it's you know, it starts again. But there was a big enough break in the rain to do the wood ready for the fire, so that's a blessing. So where's the label? There. It's vocation time. I haven't had one of these for a while, because they are my sort of default camping beers. Right, dinner tonight, I've got options. I've got a beef chilli by the steak detective, or I've got a sausage casserole military ration. I like both, to be honest. I suppose it would depend how I feel at the time. Or, if I'm being a greedy pig, I'll eat both. Oh, next week. Camping again next week. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to be here or not. But I've got a friend of mine coming, Ralph. Some of you might know his YouTube channel, Just Going Out. We've been talking about having a camp for ages and ages, and it's sort of like finally happening. He's going to come down this way for a visit next weekend, and we might camp in this spot. We might camp, well, anywhere else in this particular wood, or well, there's loads of places around here. I tend to default to this one because I know it so well, and I know there's a good supply of wood and all that sort of thing. But yeah, it depends what sort of setup he wants to do, where he wants to go. I'm pretty easy, so that'll be probably next weekend's video. Myself and Ralph having a camp and a sort of proper meet for the first time. We've chatted online loads for a long time, but never actually met. So that'd be good too. I'm always up for a camp with people, new people. It's always interesting. Let's face it, if you don't like them, you don't have to do it again. Right, how am I going to put this? Now, I've just been sitting there having a think, as you do, and I suppose you all saw on the news last couple of days about Princess Kate having a cancer diagnosis, which is a terrible thing for a young woman, especially with children and that sort of scenario. And I wish her all the best. Being someone that has got cancer themselves, I've got some idea of what she's going through. Obviously, it's a little bit different, and people, I don't think I'm going to be very popular saying this, but let's be fair, she's a young woman in good health generally, fit and healthy, does a lot of sports and things. She's got a good chance of fighting this, whatever it is. And let's not forget, she's going to get the best healthcare in the world. There's going to be no waiting lists. There's going to be no worrying about taking time off work or anything like that. Money's no object. Where the likes of me and you, it could be a little bit different, couldn't it? Let's just say that. I'll give you one little example. I had my chemotherapy for the first 6 months of 2020, and at the end of my chemotherapy session, I saw the specialist in I think it would have been June or July of 2020, which was to be the first of every 3 months having a check-up and a chat and blood tests and that sort of thing. I've never seen anyone since. All I get is a phone call every 6 months. How you doing? You feeling all right? Oh, that's good then. I'll speak to you in 6 months. Hey, what can you say? Different rules for some people. I was getting cold, so the fires are light. Get some beef chilli in me. That'll warm me up a bit. Right, the observant amongst you will see I've spun the bed round the opposite way. It fitted fine across, but there's a little bit of a slope there, It wasn't until I sort of like tried it out earlier on, you could really feel it when you're laying down. So I spun it around that way, and if anything, that shows the slope a little bit more. The head end is slightly higher than the foot end, but that's fine. At least it's flat left or right, so I'm not going to roll out of bed. Well, we've just been sitting here by the fire talking. So we started off with saying how many times we, camped on this spot, and it's been a lot, because we've camped here for probably about 3 to 4 years, and it's something like that.
Yeah, it's got to be over 3 years.
Yeah,
now.
and then we decided how many people have visited us and come for a camp here, and I think we got up to, was it 25 or 27?
27.
27 that we can think of. Visitors we've had over the years. So yeah, it's a well-used site, but I didn't think for a minute it was that long. Yeah, the more I thought about it, I thought, it'd be like 10 or 15 people, and then we kept thinking about it, kept coming up with names, and yeah, we've had bloody lot.
27 so far. What we can remember.
What we can remember. I mean, we've must have done, I don't know, 100, 150 camps
here.
Must be.
Yeah.
Easy, wouldn't it?
Probably more.
Over that length of time.
Probably more.
Because, I mean, when the weather's decent, we're out, not if not every weekend, at least every other weekend, isn't it? So, yeah, a lot of camps, isn't it? But, yeah, 27 visitors. You have to start selling bloody tickets.
Start charging entry.
Yeah, bloody right.
Bloody hell, 27.
Right, it's getting quite cold now. I was getting chilly, so it's bedtime. Just getting the old sleeping bag and warm up a bit. Mark's just getting in his concoction of a hammock. I'm sure it'll be fine, but it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I've seen it all now. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. It's very bright. It is 6:30. That's not too bad, because I went to bed early because I was cold. Mind you, still see my breath this morning. It's chilly. Nice sunny morning though, blue sky. I think it was the sun that woke me up. I don't think the angle's right now, but it was shining through the trees, and it was shining right on my face. No, you can't see it now. Oh yeah, I'm awake, but kettle's on, and also I'm a bit hungry, which is unusual for me because I'm not a breakfast person. I did bring 2 dinners with me, which I think I showed you yesterday. So I might have this cup of coffee and then cook up another dinner for breakfast, if that makes sense. I'm not really awake yet. See you in a minute. Well, I've had my sausage casserole for breakfast. Onto my second coffee. Starting to wake up a bit now. It's not as cold as I expected, which is nice. There's no wind, it's very, very still. So I'll finish my coffee and then start clearing up. My little area here is a right bloody mess, which is unusual for me. I'm normally quite sort of precise about where I keep stuff, but I've got crap everywhere. Never mind. I'll sort that out in a minute. Morning, Marky.
Morning.
You're still in the hammock?
survive.
The first thing I did when I woke up was to look across your direction and see if he was on the floor or not. Was it okay though?
It's comfy, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's one to tick off, isn't it? I mean, that's
I woke up once during the night for a wee, that was it.
oh, cool. Definitely worked then.
Nice comfy.
Good. Well, that's all me packed away. All tidy. No real sign we've been there, apart from the odd bit of scuffed up ground where the pigs went in. All done. Well, that was a nice camp. Long overdue. Nothing exciting. You know, no major happenings or spotting of animals or anything like that. It was just the fact that it was nice to get back out camping after so many weeks off. Really enjoyed it, and all being well, doing it all again next weekend. And it's sunny for the walk home. Even better. Thanks for watching.